All right, good Wednesday morning and welcome to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host, and we are excited that you're here today. Guys, I do want to bring to your attention, because this has been a question that has come up quite a bit, to where we cannot see your name in the comments. So if we can't see your name and it just says Facebook user, then that's because you haven't given Facebook the permission to share your information, and you need to do that. So if you're watching right now and you want to do that, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and then all you have to do is click accept, and then we'll be able to see your name, because you can't enter into the drawing, you can't do any of that kind of stuff if we don't know who you are. And so that information is out there. I will leave that up for just a moment. StreamYard.com/Facebook. So guys, this week we're excited to have with us Mike McGraw, who is with Legal Shield, and we're going to get into that here in just a minute. So stay tuned for that. And guys, don't forget to stick around for our drawing at the end of the show. So guys, it's Wednesday and it's GBN Live. We'll see you in just a moment. All right, guys, welcome back to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host. You know what? Let me take that down. I'm going to have to apologize to you guys today, because our producer is me today. So it might be a little bit crazy. But Mike, thanks for joining us today. We're excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? All that kind of wonderful stuff.
Well, I was actually born in Indianapolis.
I lived there for a few years.
I was there till I was 20, and then moved out to Washington State, where I stayed there and went to college for a couple of years.
Nice.
Migrated down to California, met my beautiful beach bride at Huntington Beach, and stayed there another year. Got tired of the lifestyle down there. I didn't qualify any longer with tight jeans and high heels.
Isn't that the truth? I get it.
So we moved up to the Northwest, and we were up there for 15 years.
Oh, that's great. A wonderful little place in Indianapolis was Hollywood Bar and Film Works. Do you remember that? It was a little place where you could take someone on a date, because it was only a table for two, so it couldn't be anything more than that. But it was $5. They watched, played old movies on a big screen,
cool.
And for that $5, you got popcorn, a soft drink, or some type of beverage, and then you also got a slice of pizza for $5 a person. So you couldn't beat that. But that was I guess late 80s, early 90s is when I was there. So that was pretty cool.
So I left in the 70s.
Oh, well, there you go. So it may not have been around there.
Right.
And then they also had the spaghetti factory there, which was amazing. I love that as well.
They had that in Portland too.
Yeah. And then Union Station right downtown. That was really cool.
Popular. Yep. Nice.
Yeah. And of course, the Indianapolis Speedway right around the corner. I lived right off West 38th Avenue.
Okay.
So that our street, I think is what it was. That was
used to go to the time trials a lot.
Yeah. That's a great place. But anyway, Mike, you represent Legal Shield. So tell us a little bit about that company, anything like that. If I'm not mistaken, they started almost 50 years ago this year, if I'm not mistaken, in August, I believe.
Well, I don't know exactly what month, but it was started in 72. Started out as a sportsman's program for kind of a sportsman's program, insurance for sports, or legal for sportsmen, because the owner was a sports person, and he was an insurance broker and a school teacher. So he started the company in 72, and it's been a go from there.
Oh,
it hasn't been easy, but it's been a go.
Yeah. Well, they've changed the names, because they didn't start out as Legal Shield, I don't believe, right?
No, they started as prepaid
legal, right? Yes.
Up until the 90s. Actually, I had it until the 90s.
Yeah.
And then it was purchased in the late 90s, and the name was changed.
Oh, okay, I got you. And I read somewhere that the original founder, he just passed away not too many years ago, right?
Yeah, Harlan passed away, and then his wife passed away years after that. Yeah.
Well, I know they've been around for a long time. I've heard of them. I know several people that are representatives with them as well. Mark Brigance, if you know Mark. Do you know Mark?
I don't.
You don't know Mark? He's down in the Surfside area. I've known him for 100 years. He and I used to run around on an ambulance together. So we maybe he was trying to get customers.
Was that ambulance chasing him right here?
Yeah, well, we were transporting, but maybe he was in the back trying to sign them up as a policy. I don't just sign here, and this you think it's the
it'll help you.
Yeah, right. So who knows, guys? If you have questions today, make sure you type them in the comments, and we'll try to get those on air as well. Mike, any attorney that is partnered up with Legal Shield, they can help you with several different things. And doing some research prior to the show, I learned a lot. And one of those things that they can help you with traffic tickets as well as auto accidents. Can you explain a little bit more about that and how that process works?
Well, the primary usage for all the services, for all the plans, is the consultation. That at any given time you have a legal question, a question you think is legal or illegal. For that fact, you can call and talk to the attorney. Just tap your app and call and talk to your attorney in whatever matter that you want to. It's an unlimited phone consultation. You have letter writing capabilities, document review, traffic representation, which is phenomenal. So many people, just really like it for that purpose. As I drive a lot. I go the wrong way in a wrong way street all too often. So it's nice that you can take a picture of the ticket before you leave the scene, and before you leave the scene, the officer leaves, you're talking to your attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And getting it underway and so forth. So now, even if you've had a ticket, you can still call Legal Shield. You used to have to wait 14 days.
That's interesting that you bring that up. Driving a wrong way down the street or whatever on Interstate 40, going through Davie County, North Carolina. I was driving down through there one night and I saw a hearse going the wrong way down the interstate, and I'm like, well.
It's a prelude.
One of them it won't matter, but the other one it might. The one driving, I don't know.
That's a prelude.
Right. It was kind of interesting. I see.
Looking for sponsors.
Right. I see Casey has a question for us. She said, "Do you have policies that cover businesses?" Casey, we're going to get to that question coming up right after the break. So stick around with us, and we'll talk to him about that. But the answer to that is yes. So we'll talk about that here shortly. Thanks for joining us, Casey. So Legal Shield supports home-based businesses as well, and which I find interesting. So can you talk a little bit more about the home-based businesses? Because that seems to be, especially with COVID, really growing in home-based businesses.
Right. Well, the nice thing nowadays, I've been with the company 25 years.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
So I've seen a lot of changes in the plans and so forth. It's hard for me to keep it straight sometimes. So I cheat sheets.
Yeah, right.
To make sure I've got the most current thing in my mind and so forth. So even if you're not home based, you can still use the home based program. It's an attachment to the business family plan, so it covers both your business and the family, which is great for startups, great for just about everything. But you don't have to be home based to qualify for that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of coverage does that include?
For family, it covers the same thing as the regular family plan: unlimited phone consultation, letter writing, document review, will preparation, and update. I mean, all I have to do is ask somebody in a polite way, is your will current? Like, what will?
We see that too often. You're right.
And so we have 80 to 90% of the population don't have a will, so we can get your will done in the first month. So
Nice.
So instead of $400, we can get a comprehensive will done about $30.
Oh, that's cool.
And so forth. So then we also have the traffic, et cetera, and so on and so forth. Then the family plan, the business plan covers much of the same, because nowadays with the new plan, there's a separation between the family and the business. Used to be some overlap. So you get letter writing, document. The biggest challenge with small businesses, they don't feel like they can afford an attorney, and often they can't.
Right. Yeah.
Often they can't. So we give them that affordable access, again, to tap your app and talk to your attorney about any matter that comes up. Should I do that? Should I do that?
Right.
Can I do that? Can I do that? Is this a good idea? What's the law say in this state? Little in my state.
And that's a great point. Being in real estate, something that I didn't know, because you just don't know, is that a will in, let's say, New Jersey or Pennsylvania or Ohio, which so many people move to Horry County from, those wills are not good in South Carolina, or the way that they are worded, it would not be applicable in South Carolina. Correct. So you definitely need to update your will if you move here. So if you're watching and you came from another state, it doesn't, even North Carolina,
Correct.
there's some differences. Correct. But if you come from another state to South Carolina, update your will, because that is so important.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can do it in your first month. You can do it on your app. If you tap your app and open the will and do it. I wouldn't do it on a small surface like that, but I like to print it out and send it in, have the paper. Still an old-fashioned guy like the paperwork.
I'm the same way. I like to see it in hard copy.
But if you like to do it on electronic, you can do electronic, send it in. I believe it takes 10 days.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad at all.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
So don't die before then.
Right. So, Mike, we talked about this a little bit before the show, and unfortunately, this world's going a little crazy. And, we've had a lot of shootings in the area. We've had, it just seems nonstop. There was one in Buffalo last week, or was it the weekend? Last week, I believe it was, where I believe the last count I heard was 10 people died and 3 were injured. And it was in a grocery store. I just received my CWP because I think that's so important that I protect myself and those that I'm around that I love and whatnot. So that's my choice, but that is my choice. But the one thing I found in doing the research is that Legal Shield also has a supplement, or is that what you call it, for gun owners. So let's talk a little bit about that, because that's pretty cool.
Well, it resonates with me too, because I'm used to offer this program before to gun owners in classes, CWP classes.
Right.
And so before we had the supplement, it was always a very positive experience and so forth. But I also understand, the castle doctrine is very confusing.
It is.
If you shoot the guy, make sure he stays in the house.
Or drag him inside before the police get there.
Drag him inside. And so if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're all wigged out, it's not a good idea to talk to the police.
Right.
It's really not a good idea, because you don't know what they say. You don't know what they hear. You don't know what they want to write. You don't know what kind of mood they're in. They may not get it straight. And then you've got to deal with the DA and things like that. Tap your app, take the phone with you, tap your app, and let the attorney talk to the police or to whoever is there, the authorities and so forth. That's really one of the biggest things of it, is they'll answer any questions. Suppose you want to carry your gun to Georgia, or you want to go to Oklahoma, or you're going to go visit family. You want to pack your heat. So you need to understand the gun rights in every state.
And they're completely different. You're exactly right.
And if you're carrying the weapon in your car, or what if you have what if you have even like a Civil War weapon? Those laws are applicable too.
They are.
And so one of the other things you might want to consider looking into is a gun trust. It's not cheap, but it's beneficial, because then the police don't know, the authorities don't know that you have a gun. They just know that you have a trust. They take a long, hard search to find that you actually have a gun in the trust. But right now, if it shows up that you just have a gun in the house, that's one thing. But if they look and see that you don't have a gun, but the gun's in a trust, it doesn't show up.
That's very interesting. And I'm going to come back to another point here with it too. But my uncle passed away in February. He was 88 years old. And my aunt found a gun that he had in a drawer. They were married for 55 years, did not even know that he had the gun, and did not know that, to her knowledge, he never shot it in that 55 years. And so she gave it to me, and I ran the serial number, and it was manufactured in 1916. Wow. It's a Smith & Wesson 32 long, and did more research, and that was the handgun that was issued as the handgun for World War I. And so, which was between 14 and 18, I believe, 1914, 1918, which was very interesting. So, but yeah, so I have a historical gun, probably not worth $100, but who knows? But
might need it for bail.
Yeah, right. I might need it for bail money. Who knows? But I do want to get it clean so I can shoot it at least once. Yes. But guys, going back to the gun supplement that's available, this is not just for people that are trying to protect themselves. It's also for people that are use it for sport purposes as well. So you can use it either way.
Right. Yeah. They don't care how you use it. Just use it. Just ask.
Yeah. That's
all you gotta do is ask.
Yeah.
Just tap the app and ask.
Yeah. So guys, make sure if you have any questions, you put those in the comments so that we can get them on.
By the way, that is that's a supplement that's attached to the family plan.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's in addition to the family plan. Right.
You have to have the family plan. So you still get your wills done. You get all the benefits and so forth of that. So you get all of one nice package.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So this is something that you don't think about, but in my research, because I always like to research our guests before we come on, is that you guys also have coverage for rideshare or delivery drivers that are becoming so popular these days.
Yes.
It's insane. So can you talk to us a little bit about those policies and primarily what do they cover? Because that I think that would be a great question.
Right. Well, the rideshare, we have a rideshare program, and then we also have a commercial drivers program.
Okay.
See, the family plan will cover things in your personal life. You're going to and from the grocery store, you're going hither and yon and so forth. You get in an accident, you get a ticket, or you have a fatality involved. You can, work with that,
Sure.
and they'll help you with that. So the rideshare is there as an addition to the family plan, because the family plan only covers personal transportation. It doesn't cover any type of commercial transportation. So they added that. It's $14.95 on top of the family plan again, and so forth. It's there for consultation, for traffic tickets, representation. One of the hallmarks of Legal Shield, because this is how the owner, decided to found the company, was if you get involved in a fatality, we're going to cover you, innocent or guilty, win, lose, or draw, to the very end at no extra charge.
Wow.
That is thousands of dollars
Sure.
of attorney time to defend you in court.
Yeah.
So that's one of the hallmarks on whether it's the rideshare or whatever program it is regarding vehicles, you are covered. You just don't know. You don't plan on it, but it can happen.
Yeah. And Legal Shield teams up with other local attorneys. So sometimes these are not attorneys that are on staff. They are people that are, I guess, subcontracted or contracted out to represent the clients through Legal Shield. That's
correct? And actually, at the expo,
yes,
I met a law firm there. I won't mention their name, but I thought enough of them that I referred them to our law firm, Merritt Webb in Columbia, to come on board as a referral attorney.
Oh, awesome!
Because you just dealt with we're growing so fast, we can use more attorneys, especially real estate and traffic and things like that. So in the event that you have to go to court or something like that in this area, well, attorneys aren't going to come from Columbia.
No.
So we're going to find a local attorney, traffic attorney, to help you in that arena.
Yeah.
So yes, we do have referral attorneys all across the country and Canada.
That's awesome. Guys, stick around with us. We'll be right back after the break, and we're going to talk more about what Legal Shield can do for your small business, as well as look at some of their plans that are out there so that we all understand that. So stick around. GBN Live will be right back.
Hi, I'm Justice Ann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. Hey guys, welcome back to GBN Live. I'm Todd Carter, your host, and with me today I have Mike McGraw with Legal Shield, and we've been talking about some of the different programs that they have, as well as one of the questions that Casey had prior to the commercial was about business coverage. And so first, let's start about starting a business. So if I wanted to start a business, how can Legal Shield help me?
Legal Shield has a really, really good program. It's called Launch by Legal Shield. It's been around for a number of years. It's been refined a couple of times, refined, improved, whatever you want to say. I think it's been improved. So basically, you take $149 and you pay that up front, and it's good for 3 months. And for $149, which includes the family plan, for 3 months, and then it covers you the ability to talk to your attorney, to do a name search, to do all your registration, do the whole setup of the whole organization of the business is included in that.
Even an LLC, correct?
An LLC. Wow. I don't know if I can't remember if it does C Corp or not, but I know it does an LLC and so forth. I'd have to research. I don't remember whether it does S Corps or C Corps or something submitted. I can't remember what. And so, but it's for $149. And so you get the family plan again, you get the will preparation, an update, healthcare power of attorney. You get all those other, which most starting businesses don't have their wills done.
Right.
They need partnership agreements. They need a lot of different things that they can use the Legal Shield for 3 months. Most times they get so much value out of it, they say, why not continue?
Yep. That's true.
So if you got teenage drivers or still drive like a teenager, and so there's a lot of value there. It's an incredible amount of value.
Yeah, that would be Ashley Jeter. She still drives like a teenager, so y'all stay away from her. Just messing with you there. So that's pretty good. But it checks your business name. Now that does not include your state filing fees.
Correct.
So you still have to pay the state filing fees depending on where you are, what state that is, and but sometimes those are very minimal.
Right.
Sometimes they're $150 or something like that. Yeah. Sometimes even less.
It's really not. It's not. It's you've already paid so little.
Right.
Because if you hire an attorney to do that, you're going to pay a lot more.
Yeah. Casey also has another question. She says there are a plan that covers nonprofits.
There is not a plan to cover nonprofits.
Okay. But a nonprofit can still sign up for the other plans though, right?
Correct. So
you can still take advantage of the programs. They're just not geared toward, or I guess, Casey, probably what you're asking would be the same thing I would ask is there a discount for nonprofits? So we would be able to get the same program and the nonprofit use it just as a regular business, as an LLC or whatever.
No. I understand that it's not in writing anywhere, but sometimes if you're a member, a business member, and you have a question or two about a nonprofit, they probably will answer your question.
Right.
They will probably, I don't know how far they go. It depends on the law firm, how busy they are. But technically, they don't do anything with nonprofits. Okay.
Well, their prices are so low anyway. You don't need to go.
Right. I got a referral last night from a friend who has his church starting up in Wisconsin. And so that church has a profit side and a nonprofit side. So we'll get the business plan, and if they answer questions for the nonprofit, that's
there
a bonus for you.
You got it. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put up our Dancing Debbie here. Hopefully that's going to be changing next week whenever I have a couple minutes, and we're going to get Michelle up there. But as long as Dancing Debbie's up, make sure you put hashtag GBN Rocks into the show and into your whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll be glad to get you entered into the drawing. So that's hashtag GBN Rocks. Let me see if I can put that banner up so everybody can see it. Where am I here? Here we go. Hashtag GBN Rocks. There you go. So we'll get that in as well. Whoops. Oh, okay. I see you just did that, Casey. Thank you. Mike, let's talk a little bit about, and I don't know that this may hide everything, guys, so I apologize, but I did do a little graphic here. Yes, it did hide everything, or it had hid Dancing Debbie, but we'll still take them in. So go ahead and put them in the comments. But I brought up a little graphic here that shows the different plans that you have for Legal Shield. The first one is individuals and families. That's $29.95 a month. Again, that covers your wills. That covers any other legal questions that you may have, the traffic tickets, the auto accidents. Right. What am I leaving out? All kinds of stuff that's just $30 a month.
I have a story.
Sure.
So the other day, on Monday, I was house sitting, if you will. My neighbor's out of town, so they asked me to sit, and the air conditioning went out. We had to get a guy over to do the air conditioning and so forth. And then all of a sudden, a few minutes later, I get a text from my neighbor saying he had to leave in a medical emergency. So I said, okay. So I went back up to lock up, and I came back when he came back. And so I found out that he had an family emergency, and his daughter, who was autistic, had an episode in the middle of Walmart. And so, all the behavior issues and so forth, and the children try and calm them down, and that created more issues, and one thing lead to another. And then you get the public involved, and you got the store manager involved, and police involved, and all this type of involvement that drive anybody. And then you have the language barrier, if you will,
right,
going on and so forth. So I said, well, would have been nice if I knew the company worked for. So they had a chance to get Legal Shield a year ago. I knew that historically, and so forth. So all the mom had to do was to tap the app and let the attorney talk to the police or Walmart or whoever, get what you need instead of trying to deal with it on your own. So one of the other hallmarks of Legal Shield in the family plan is the emergency button. You tap the app and you have access to your attorney in about 4 rings anywhere in the United States and 4 provinces of Canada.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's priceless when you're in, because you're not thinking straight, like you said before, during an emergency. So that's awesome. I'm going to skip the small business, and so let's go over to the start a business plan first on the far right.
Right.
That's the $149. That gives you 3 months of the plan with the family, which is $30, $29.95. So $90 of that $149 is paying for the family. So it's really only costing you about $60.
And we actually have a plan that starts, they have the $49, the $199, and $149 in the regular small business programs.
Okay. So you see that right there, you go, guys. I mean, that's some great information. I'm gonna go ahead and hide that. So we have Dancing Debbie still up there in the corner. Make sure you go ahead and put in that hashtag GBN Rocks, and we'll get that going here in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and take down our GBN Rocks banner because I want to talk a little bit about how to get in touch with Mike. So the first thing is you can contact him at 704-202-8088.
Correct.
That's 704-202-8088. Or you can visit his website is ihavemyrights.com.
Correct.
ihavemyrights.com. So that's good. Mike, I'm going to leave that up for just a minute, but I do want to talk quickly about identity theft.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that is very prominent with Legal Shield. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Right. So identity theft, as we know during COVID, has just exploded.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the biggest factors is one of the biggest thefts is with government information.
Yeah.
Your tax returns, your COVID refunds and programs and stuff. So they're delving in the thieves are delving into government information. So they have all your information, your social number, everything. So Social Security or when identity theft first started in the early 2000s, it was about your credit because the bank sponsored all that information, which was great at the time, and it's evolved and so forth. Nowadays, it isn't very much about your credit, or it's taken a backseat. What is important today is reputation management.
Right.
If you don't have your reputation, what do you do at work? What do you do for work? What do you do for your family? So, in today's age when anything can go viral in a minute, your reputation can be destroyed in a minute. It isn't just a matter of time and you have weeks to clean it up. You really may not have that time.
Sure.
And so forth. So we have a very robust identity theft program for individuals and businesses to help you restore your identity back to where it was, and even help you restore your reputation. And what the reputation affects you can also affect your work. It can affect your business. It can affect your livelihood. We're not, so it's a lot of it's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and things like that. That it all just goes fast. So we monitor everything that matters in your life.
I like that.
For you and your children up to age 18. Anything that matters, so you get alerts. I mean, I'm always getting alert, having to go and take care of things, and I don't mind. I'd rather take care of it on the small end than on the big end.
Sure, absolutely. If you can stop it right away, hopefully that'll stop because a lot of those things are tied together anyway.
Absolutely.
So if you do one here, it's going to happen over there, and before you know it, boom, boom, boom.
Absolutely.
Years ago, just to give you an example of how that crazy stuff works. Years ago, I was the public information officer for the fire department. We had the large fire up in the Briarcliff area. And the morning after the fire, I did a press conference and I had 61 cameras pointing back to me. And if you would have Googled my name prior to that event, you would have seen a couple thousand articles because of me being with the fire department. After that, it was well over 500,000 because they share to everybody else.
Right.
And so it's crazy how this internet has just taken off for all of us, and it's scary, to be honest with you.
One of the other things that I uncovered the other night is in our service, we can actually get rid of your name in all the data brokers.
Oh, nice.
Data brokers are huge. Guess who's the biggest data broker in the country? Facebook.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me. That's how they make their money.
LinkedIn. Yeah, they're sharing the information and so forth. Yeah. So all our information, our likes, our dislikes, everything like that is out there in data brokers, and there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But we have a top 5, and I'm just now getting the time after the expo in this program and so forth to sit down and eliminate my name and do my all opt-outs of the white pages and various things. Anything that I can, I'm going to opt out for. I'm going to really go in and do a deep clean.
Yeah, and that's smart to do that.
And so it's important to not only it's smart to be very proactive in your reputation.
Yeah, you have to these days, unfortunately. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do our drawing. Let me put up the drawing here. Oh, well, it looks like we had one here. Whoops, what happened? I don't know. Well, I know who that is, and that is Casey, because I saw you put it in there. So,
Right.
Casey, you won today, so we appreciate that. I'll get you your information for the Walk-On's gift card, and we appreciate that. Mike, before we go, let's talk about what GBN means to you and just referral networking. I don't know if you've done that before GBN, but I know you've been with us for several months now, and I just want to know what it means to you for our viewers.
Well, actually, right now it's huge. GBN is very good. GBN is being very good to me. But I'm actually from Charlotte, and I was been in networking in Charlotte for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm going back and capitalize on those relationships.
Sure.
Because I go ask people I think know other cybersecurity companies.
Right.
Tell me who you know, and they refer me to others. So I don't have to do cold calling.
And that's so outdated anymore for any business, really.
Yeah, although people are succeeding with it on LinkedIn, but I'd rather not.
Right. Right.
So the relationships that you build with GBN, with other networking and so forth, is lifelong.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends have come out of networking over 20 years in the Charlotte market. So a lot of people know me as a strong networker in that market. So I'm anxious to get involved in this market, especially with my health improves.
Yeah. And you're exactly right, because I've been doing networking for 15 years or more, and I've got some great friends that have come out of that as well. Well, Mike, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate you being on, guys. If you have any questions about Legal Shield, please make sure that you reach out to Mike so that we can get those answered for you. And let me see here. Sorry, I'm producing it myself. But next week, we have with us Beth Klepper, who is with the Myrtle Beach chapter, and she is with Home Team Inspection Services, which is a home team or is a residential inspections. So if you're buying or selling a home, that's a great way to get some information there to see what is going on with your home before or after you sell the property. So, guys, we appreciate you joining us one more time. And remember, we'll see you next week. I will be actually remoting in next week from the Charleston market. So the scene will look a little different next week. So make sure you tune in for us then. Guys, remember, if it's Wednesday, it's GBN Live. Take care.